Hey y'all, I am back. This is week number 3, day number 2. I'm being consistent, coming and hanging out with y'all. Hey, Butter Roll Boutique, first person in my chat today. I appreciate you because a lot of days I start off talking to guess who? Me. It's okay. It's all right. I'm trying to get a thing going where I'm being consistent. Consistency is the key to anything. And trust me, I learned it the hard way from not being consistent. So, welcome to the chat. Uh, Today is March 14th. Nothing real big going on. I wasn't feeling getting up to work today. I had to get up early and do some CEU stuff to get started today. And for those of you that have to do continuing education, um, I'm sure y'all feel about it the way I do. It's going through the motions. You end up watching going to a webinar and sitting in on a webinar talking about stuff that you already know, or stuff that's gonna put you to sleep. But in order to maintain my credentials, hey M. Bernadette, thank you so much for sharing me out. Listening and watching the baby moving around. Oh, you watching the grandbaby? Okay. Thank you for coming through. Um, yeah, I had to do some continuing education stuff. And to me, this is the what you call them? Theorists, whatever theorists in me. They have us go to school, get these certifications, then have you do these continuing education. But the whole goal of the continuing education is money. Because every 2 years I have to re-up with my certification, which costs me a couple $100. Have I really done anything? Because they used to have us do an assessment to see if you were still, up to date on the newest changes. Because in my field, there's forever uh, changes coming about. I'm a medical auditor. So, they want to make sure you're on top of it. But this is what gives me. They would do the certification. And half of the time, hell, I flunked. I made them 50. Did they keep them from recertifying me for another 2 years? Nope, you still passed. According to them, they like, give me my money and you good. So that's when I start feeling like this is just a money thing. Because if you were really concerned whether or not I'm keeping up my continuing education, you would have a problem with me making a 65 on a out of 100 on a assessment to see where I am. But you know how these organizations are, or these companies and stuff are. It's all a big conspiracy. It's all a big conspiracy. You paid your money to go to school. Now you turn around and got to pay again uh, to keep you on the leash because if you let your certifications lapse, you can no longer uh, practice what you're doing. And the other thing about that is, okay, I have been doing this I graduated college in 1997. How many years? Do you really need me to do an assessment if I didn't been able to hold a job down this long that I still know what I'm doing? You know, it's almost insulting because even when I mentioned to you guys before, I have issues with long term. I usually I don't stay on a job more than 2-3 years. Then I start getting burnt out. I'm looking to change. And luckily with the field that I'm in, you know, healthcare, there's always gonna be somebody looking for looking for you. And then when they started making it so that we could work from home, they just opened up even more doors. Hey, Purple Tube, thanks for joining me in. That opened up even more doors because now not only were there a multitude of facilities, you can do facilities in other states. Because currently the group of health hospitals I work for now is in Charlotte, North Carolina. I live nowhere near Charlotte, North Carolina. So that just opened a lot of doors. But every time I got ready to apply for a new job, they would have me take a test. And I'm just like, really? I've been doing this crap for almost 30 years and I got to take a test. But then I guess, so that, to me, it's it's a I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But anyway, It's hypocritical because you tell me every 2 years I got to take this certification to keep my, license or whatever to do my job. Whether I pass the certification, pass the assessment or not, I keep my job. But then when I get ready to go apply for a job, y'all want to tell me if I can't pass this test you put in front of me, I can't have a job. Is it just me? That does not make sense. But anyway, it is what it is. Everything, bottom line on everything is money. So, and then usually, my main channel, well, this is my main channel, but my main topic that I usually talk about on my channel is finances, personal finance, and all that stuff. So that's not what this series is about. This is just light chit chat. This is just whatever's on your mind. A whole lot of talking about nothing. This, that, and the other. So, like I said, today I was dragging to get up and get started. But I'm here, and I'm glad I'm here. And although nobody has asked me yet, I am going to do my sprays. This is one of my other businesses is CTFO. CTFO stands for Changing the Future Outcomes. And it is a CBD company. So what they sell is CBD products. But this particular product is not a CBD product. This is from the mangosteen plant, like Smoky Sound Friday. It's from the earth. It's for you and for me. So apparently, research has been done, and the mangosteen plant is a very good whatever you want to source for people with cardiovascular disease. Now, I personally have congestive heart failure. I've made no secret about that. I've been diagnosed now since 2020. Hell, I might have had it before then and just didn't know. But and it for me it's hereditary. My dad has it as well. So when I heard about this product, and it's called Twist and Mist, and Twist and Mist Xantho Mist from the mangosteen plant. I don't know what a mangosteen plant is, but if y'all have done research, y'all see it's gonna help my heart, because I'm gonna tell y'all, I take about 10, 15 medications a day. I would love to cut that number in half, in fourths, in thirds. I just want to get rid of some of them pills. So this, I have to do 5 pumps a day, and I've been doing this now for, I think I started last week. So every day 5 pumps. So here we go. I ain't saying nothing about it tastes good. I said it's for your heart. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing when I get ready to go to future doctor's visits if they're able to see any change in what I got going on. And later today, myself, my business partner Tony, Pandy, and Gio and I, we're doing a thing, a live this evening around 6 Central, and we're gonna be talking about CTFO and giving some testimonials. Now, I take that product. Now, I haven't gotten to a point right now where I can tell you what it's doing, but what I can tell you works, and that is this right here. This is called I hate this Thursday when you try to do it on here. It's like it's the opposite of whatever way you think you turn it. But anyway, okay, this is a CTFO product made from hemp oil, and it is for muscle and joint relief. And I have been using this for about 3 weeks now. I told a story when I ordered it. In the picture, I was expecting a bottle at least, as big as this. I got the thing in the mail. I opened it up, and it was this. And I'm like, this is a tube of lipstick. What this gonna do? And then I had paid $47 for it too. So I'm like, okay. But the good thing about these products, they're all 100% money back guarantee. So if I decided to send it back today, I can send it back and get my money back. But I'm not gonna send it back because it's got the cute little roll-on top, and I basically just rub it on wherever it hurts. And for me, it's got that nice little light eucalyptic smell to it. Nothing very strong. So where I usually put it is on my knees and on my lower back and down on my ankles or my heels, because that's where I used to have pain. You know, I tell y'all all the time, like y'all blind and can't see anyway. But I'm a thick sister, so of course, when you got extra weight on you, you're gonna have some extra joint and muscle pain. So yeah, I deal with that. Um, not it's more so when I work out that I really, really feel it. But like on a day to day, back pain is probably my most aggravating uh type of pain. So, honey, I've been putting that on. I was telling y'all yesterday. I felt the difference when I went out this weekend. I opened my truck and jumped out to run in the store. And usually it's open the door, get out like this, and I'm walking like a duck at first because I'm a little stiff. And I tease my friends all the time, and I tell them, shoot, I ain't gonna never get no man like this. Ain't nobody trying to get with nobody that they got to help walk across the street like their grandma. I need to be able to get out and keep my strolls on. Saturday, baby, when I jumped out that truck, um, it felt like the old me. I went on in the store and had a little tweet going, little action working. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the whole um CTFO pain reliever thing. And I did share like what I like to do to make sure that I'm getting my exercise in, because I am a person that stay chained to this desk, and it's hard. I got exercise equipment in there that my daughter keep telling me, why you keep buying that furniture, because I got like a elliptical and a what you call it, a treadmill and all that type of stuff. And sometimes I get on, but she kind of right. It do be kind of like furniture. But my thing is, when I do decide I want to get on it, it's there. Because what made me get all that stuff, I was a member of a gym prior to the pandemic, and I was doing really, really good. But I'm also a huge germaphobe. So when the pandemic hit, even when it got a little better, because at first the gym actually closed, and then after that, when they slowly started opening things back up, excuse me, I had a personal trainer and everything, so I had to set up my time to go back in with her and work out. So I went and I had my mask on, and nobody else in the gym have a mask on. And so she was like, well, I won't say nobody else. The employees had the mask on, but the patrons didn't have masks on. And I'm like, is y'all crazy? So after I got to working out, I figured out why they ain't had no mask on. You know how hard it is to do all that stuff, and you got that thing covering your face. So I did. I went back a couple of more times, but at that point, I wasn't willing to come in and be in all of it and not have a mask on. So I was like, you know what, bump this. I just work out at home. So I, started getting equipment and stuff to work out at home, and I did good off and on. But the hardest thing for me is I have, like I said, congestive heart failure, and with that, you deal with a lot of edema, meaning swelling and stuff like that. So it can get even before I was diagnosed, I was just like trying to figure out why I would go to like the grocery store, and the grocery store parking lot, if you park maybe third spot from the handicap, that's not that far. So I'm getting out, I walk to the store. By the time I get to the store to get the blanket, and I'm like, damn, I know I put on weight, but I couldn't have put on that much damn weight for me to be breathing like this. And then I would walk around in the store, and I had to have a cart because I felt like, I couldn't breathe. So, I kept letting it go because I'm like, oh, it's just you didn't put on weight, being at home with the COVID and all that stuff. So finally went to go get an echo to see what was going on. And I ended up getting admitted because that was when they found out I had congestive heart failure. So with that, a lot, it has a lot to do with breathing, sleeping. I also have sleep apnea, which means when I go to sleep, a lot of times during my sleep, I will stop breathing. And so they have you go in, and I went through all this years before, and I was so discouraged because one thing I have not shared with you guys is I did have gastric bypass weight loss surgery. This was 20 years ago, though. It'll be 20 years next year, 2004, because of some of the same issues. It wasn't congestive heart failure. It was the sleep apnea. My sleep apnea was so bad I could be talking to y'all right now, and in the middle of the conversation I'll be like just knocked out, like knock the lips knocked out. And it got really dangerous when I was driving because one time my friend was in the car with me, and I was like, "Girl, did you know I had fell asleep?" She was like, "Yeah, I was hoping you, I was hoping you was gonna snap right out of it." I was like, "You better say something if you see me up here and it look like I might be asleep." But I will say it was nothing but the Lord that took care of me, especially I'm gonna say from age. It was the worst from when I was like maybe 23 or 24 up until 30. So, all those years I just kind of dealt with it. At first, I didn't know I had it because I didn't know what sleep apnea was. Okay, and Bernadette says my younger brother has sleep apnea and it can be something. Yeah, it's something else. And it's like, and back then, like I said, I didn't know what was going on. So I go to the doctor. They want to do the sleep study. They do the sleep study, and Lord, the sleep study was an experience in itself. Because, like I said, I'm a germaphobe. I hate hospitals, so I had to go in the hospital, and then they had me. First, they have you sleep for like an hour or two, without the, just so they can assess you. And okay, I'm in this hospital bed, and in my mind, I'm thinking 50,000 people that slept in before me, and it's nasty and germs is crawling. That's how I am when it comes to stuff like that. So it's gonna take me forever to fall asleep just for y'all to even see what my regular sleep pattern is like. So if I'm fall asleep, they woke me up. They tell me, I forget, it was like a dangerous amount to the point that in an hour, they telling me I stopped breathing like 80 times or something like that. I'm like, hell, I put 60 minutes in an hour and I stopped 80 times. But, they got the equipment and they telling me this and they're like, you know, we're going to try you out with the CPAP. So they put the CPAP on. Oh, Butter Rose says, I have sleep apnea. Yeah, so you feeling me, Butter Rose Boutique. And at this point, I'm like 24, 20. No, let me see. I was closer to 30 at this point. I want to say I might have been like 28, 29. But anyway, I'm a young lady, whatever. So they strap me up, put the stuff on, and then they tell me, if it gets uncomfortable, they supposed to be up there watching you sleep, right? But they like, so if it gets uncomfortable, just yell and tell us. And I'm like, okay. So, they turn the machine on, they go out, and it starts going, and I'm like, I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. So, I'm panicking. And the thing about it, when you have it on, when you open your mouth, time you open your mouth to talk, this big gush of air goes in. So you can't talk. So I'm like, this is a setup. They trying to kill me. They know I can't talk with this thing on why they telling me if I have any problems to let them know. Because they can hear. So, honey, I broke out and started doing sign language. I'm like, they came in that end. Because I was like, shit, I'm about to choke to death on this thing. So they came in, of course, they adjusted the setting. So they sent me home with the CPAP. CPAP really wasn't doing nothing for me. So had to come back again like a year or so later, and they switched me to the BiPAP. I can give you the definition or as far as what the acronym stands for, but I don't know the difference between a CPAP and a BiPAP. CPAP stands for continuous. Okay, one is continuous PAP, the other one is by some PAP. So don't make me laugh about what all that means. But anyway, they put me on that. So when they put me on that, I still wasn't seeing that big of a difference, and I'm having to sleep sitting up and everything. And so on top of that, I'm 20s. I'm trying to have a love life. So of course, if I'm entertaining, I ain't trying to have nobody coming out looking at me laying up with me looking like I'm on life support. Because you know how big and bulky the machines used to be. I will say they look a little less obtrusive now. But when I first got the damn thing, it looked like I was Darth Vader with the mask, and you got all of this crap. I was like, ain't nothing sexy / romantic about none of this. Bring a man over there, and he think, You already have got one foot out the door. I ain't finna help finish killing you. So I didn't like having all that stuff. So then it got to the point anyway that wasn't helping me. So I had to go back. And what they told me at that point was, okay, your best option is going to have to be weight loss surgery. So that's when they suggested the gastric bypass. It was fairly new back then because this was 2004. So I'm hearing all of these people telling me, "Oh, don't do it, don't do it." Everybody had a cousin, a brother, or uncle, or auntie that died from gastric bypass, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's really what I want to hear. I got the doctor over here telling me this can save my life. And then I got y'all over here telling me everybody y'all seen had it done and died. Yeah. So I basically was, I talked over my family and stuff and I went ahead with it. And it wasn't a bad experience. I'm telling you, anytime I've gone in the hospital and had a bad experience, it had nothing to do with the surgery that I was having. I can't remember what was going on with this one. I have found out that because of how my mouth is, I'm hard to intubate. And so when they get ready to intubate me, and since then, I'm glad the story is helping you, Butterroll. She said, you don't know how you helping me right now. Yeah. I'm very transparent. I'll be transparent with you about any experience I have. I as a general thing, I try not to tell stories where I come out looking bad. But if it's for the good, if it's for the good of somebody, I'll share, and just say, look, don't judge me. But anyway, so I went in, had that done. I did end up being put in ICU because something happened, and it had nothing to do with the actual surgery. I think it had something to do with the damn, I can't think of what nothing's called. The thing when they intubate you. So I had to stay an extra night in ICU unit, but I went home the next day. Let me see, remember? Yeah, it's very new, but everyone was getting them and saying they were back. Yes, M. Bernadette, and see, that's why I don't do that. I'm the type of person, if you telling me you about to have something done. Now, there have been a couple of times, and I'm just going to put this out here. I've never had the procedure done, but I've heard probably 100% of people who had it done say it wasn't a help, and whenever you're doing anything with typing and lifting and stuff, carpal tunnel is always, something that may happen. For everybody I know that's had carpal tunnel surgery, they've told me it didn't get any better. So when I hear somebody talking about it, I'll say, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm just going to say, I haven't heard anybody say that with the surgery, their condition got better. But for the most part, I'm not going to try to scare you to death and be like, oh, girl, don't get that carpal tunnel surgery. You're going to die on the operating table. My cousin, that's all I'm hearing. My cousin did this and he had this, and 2 days later, he was dead. And I'm just like, really? Okay, but Rose says my doctors are recommending weight loss surgery for me now. But Rose, go ahead. No, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm gonna say from my perspective, it was worth it. I have gained a good deal of my weight back over the last 20 years, but I just think about had I not done this, because I got this done when I turned 30. Now I'm about to be 50. Had I not done this then, because my highest weight back then was 351 pounds. And that is not something that, like I said, I don't like to tell stories where I come out looking bad. But yeah, 351 pounds was my pre-surgery weight. And I was barely 30 years old. Like, I had the surgery on July the 6th. I had just turned 30 on April 4th. So, I've been going through all this. So my quality of life, had I not had the surgery and continued to gain weight, I probably would have been looking at diabetes. I have a very strong history of that anyway. So that was a concern. I was already having issues with arthritis because I've never just been this, even when I carried the heavier weight, people never believed I weighed as much as I did because I've always been solid. I'm a solid person. So but that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, you still got that weight on you. So imagine being under 30 and having a diagnosis of morbidly obese. And when you think morbid, you like, ugh, morbid. Ugh. So anyway, I wasn't happy with it. So I went ahead, I did the surgery. Of course, some things come with surgery. They tell you about it up front. You're going to suffer some hair loss. You're going for your caloric intake is going to pretty much go to zero. So your body reacts to that. So part of the way your body reacts to it is hair loss. So it didn't happen immediately, but somewhere along the line, I started noticing the damage. And I'm the type, hair is hair. As young as y'all ain't seen my own hair yet because God made wigs. God made man who's able to make wigs and ponytails and all that stuff for people who have issues with their hair. I have no shame in it, you know. Um, Now, so I ended up cutting it off and doing like just a boy cut, like the short cut. And it was something different, but hell, I was losing weight. Who cares what the hair look like? I'm getting super fine around here. So, I didn't care about that. When nobody looking at my head, they was looking at this that was coming from me losing the weight. Because I will, give my mother credit for this. I tease my mom all the time. My mom has always been thin. She's always had a shape, you know, not too much in the boobs department, but she's always had a little hourglass in the little booty back there. So I always felt defeated because when I was younger, everybody thought I was gonna be just like Queen Elsa. Everybody thought I was gonna be this little dainty, da 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 da. Honey, I ain't getting none of them jeans. Or what I like to say, down under this fat is a fine ass woman like my mama. Okay? It's under there. It's covered right now. But it's under there. So, you know, so when I did start losing weight, it came off good. And that was my thing. Even now, with me being almost 50, I know I've gained some weight back and I'm not happy about that. But my biggest concern has always been I don't want to be bad bodied. I don't want to be one of those people that look like somebody just took some Play-Doh and mashed something here and stuck some arms on here and the legs are toothpick. I just, that I don't want to be bad bodied. And it's vain, and I'll admit it's vain, but it's the truth. You know, you know the difference between seeing somebody that big and you got thin people that's bad body. The clothes, when they put their clothes on, look like they still hanging on the hanger. So, that's always been my view. I don't have to be a size 5, but I don't want to have a bad body. So, and I did notice that, and I don't even know how popular, I ain't gonna say popular, but in the last 10 years, I've noticed they've kind of moved from the gastric bypass over to the gastric sleeve, which to me seems to have even better results because it seems like it works faster. I don't know if those people have the same issues because, like, when you have gastric bypass, one of the biggest things that you have to deal with is dumping syndrome. Dumping syndrome feels like pure D hell. I ain't never been, but if I could guess, dumping syndrome is what it feels like. Um, and it's a bad thing, but it's a control thing too at the same time because, like, with me, and everybody's different. I've had some people say after they had gastric bypass, they could eat sweet stuff and nothing happened to them. Let me get 1 gram more sugar than than I'm supposed to, or that my system will accept. And honey, I sick as a dog. The first time it happened, the room and you get hot. The room starts feeling like it's spinning. You getting dizzy. You want to throw up at the same time. You feel like you got to poop. It's like every possible thing that could go wrong with your body hit you all at one time. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait until it passes. And it usually takes anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to pass. But luckily, the first time this happened to me, I was at home. So when it'll still hit me now, depending on how much sugar I intake. So that's why people say stay away from the diet sodas. I know diet sodas are not good for you, but at the same time, I cannot drink a regular soda because they say you might as well drink a regular one if you're gonna drink a diet one. Something about pure sugar. Um, when I take in too much, and like when you drink it, of course, if you chug it, it's hitting you all at once. So it has a very bad effect on me, and I don't. I still respect it. So it's like it's a bad thing, but then it's also like a control mechanism because you feeling like, I'm not finna, when somebody offer to you, I don't care how good it looks. Nope, I'm not finna do this. I remember being, back when I was with, and right after I had surgery, when I really started moving around. I lived in Birmingham when I got it done. Then I moved to North Carolina for a while. Then I lived in South Carolina for a while. So when I was working in the job I had, I think I've told y'all before, I traveled. So I was working at a particular site in what is it? I was working at Duke in North Carolina, and that's not in Raleigh. It's in Durham. I was in Durham, and you know, even though you're not an employee, I was on that assignment for almost a year. So for a year, I'm driving up to Durham on Monday morning, staying there till Friday. So just like you eventually become part of the staff. you know, you get to know different ones. So it got to be around the holidays. And I wish my friend Michelle was on here because I was working with her at the time. She was that's how I met her. We were both contracts working this job. And so they had a potluck. And I, at that point, because I was traveling, it made it a little better too because I wasn't cooking. I was mostly either buying snacks and stuff to eat in my room, or if I did eat out, with small portions. It wasn't like being at home with somebody cooking a big dinner. Well, honey, they had that potluck for, I don't know if it was Christmas or Thanksgiving or Fourth. I don't know what it was for. All I know is my eyes. Have you ever heard the phrase "your eyes get bigger than your stomach"? My eyes were like this. I hadn't had no home cooked food in a while. And these were like some older women that were cooking and stuff. So, they putting their foot in it and making the homemade stuff. And they just marched in with the different stuff. And I'm just like, just excited. Pull around and put, I think I put on my plate the little deviled eggs. I put some deviled eggs on the plate. I think I had a piece of barbecue chicken. What else did I get? Maybe some ham or turkey, because the big thing they tell you when you have weight loss surgery, focus on you're gonna get full quick anyway. So focus on eating your proteins first. Then the next thing you want to try to get is your fruits and vegetables. And then, if you're gonna do bread or anything starchy, save that for last because if you eat that and you get full off of that, you cannot physically eat anymore. And then your body's not getting, the proper nutrients. So I have been sticking to that, honey, all best was off when they bought that food in there. I don't even think I chewed some of that stuff. I think I swallowed it whole. It was so good to have some home cooked food. So then, about 10 minutes later, I'm sitting there. I'll never forget. I had wore green pants that day. I'm sitting there in the chair like this because I couldn't move. So I was like, oh my God, I can't move right now. I told my friend Michelle, I said, I'm finna die. I'm finna die right here at Duke. Don't even worry about bringing me to the hospital. I don't need the bill. Just go and call the coroner because I'm about to leave here. That's how I was like, I said, can somebody just take me outside? And, I wanted to grab him and take me outside and walk me around. That's how bad. Oh my God, that felt so bad. And I didn't even eat a whole lot, but like I said, my stomach at that point was, maybe this big. So in my mind, I'm thinking I still can eat those things and be okay. But honey, I learned quick. It was like, So that was one of my horror stories. Another time I was working in North Carolina at a hospital in Greenville. And, at this point I've kind of learned my lesson on watching things. But For some reason, I had a sweet tooth that day. I fooled around and bought a box of Cracker Jacks. Honey, after eating about 5 of them Cracker Jacks, all of that sugar hit me again. Here I am at work, stretched out. I can't move. So the girl that was working around the corner from me, she was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I'm finna die." You might want to tell somebody I'm finna die. And so, it lasted, like I said, 30 minutes. Then it was past. But that's how I have learned my lessons over the years because, ooh, honey, that's the worst feeling in the world. Dumping syndrome is terrible. That's not something you want. So if you uh have weight loss surgery and you learn what your limit is as far as sugars or sweets or whatever, stick to it because it's not playing. Now, you know, I lost. I'm gonna say I lost down to. I was 100 and I got down to. I think my lowest weight was 211 pounds. And for me, you know, I'm not. I'm not built to be skinny, so I never wanted to be 150 pounds because I knew I would look like a bobblehead, and that was my thing. I used to tell everybody, I'm like, I don't care how much weight I lose, this head is still gonna be big. This skull right here. This girl ain't going nowhere. So they're like, oh, it's gone, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. So after I had the surgery, we were in my office. I took a piece of floss. I wrapped that floss around my head. I taped it on the wall. After a year, I pulled that piece of floss down and it still fit. I said, see what I'm telling y'all? I had lost 100 and some pounds, but my head was still big. So we talking bobblehead, and I was concerned about that. So it's like when I got down to, I'm gonna say like a size, I think the smallest size I got to was a 14, maybe 12 or 14 or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, this is good. This is where I need to stay. And I stayed in that range for a long time. Even after I had my child, I stayed that way. Um, Actually, my pregnancy was so horrible. I lost weight. I weighed less after I had 90 pool than I did before I got pregnant. That's how sick I was. So, having a baby didn't affect it. Um, Moved back, went through a divorce. That was like a diet in itself with all the emotions you go through in a divorce. So, that didn't make me gain weight because I'm not one of those people. You know how you have people that are stress eaters, or or I'm not that type. If I got something going on and I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm stressed, I cannot eat. I have no appetite. So what I am is a bored eater. Now I will get bored and eat something, but if it's stress, I'm not a stress eater. So when I was going through my divorce and moving back from South Florida to Alabama, I lost even more weight. So, it wasn't until, and I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. It wasn't until I left the office and started working from home. And I started that in 2015. And that was part of the reason I did not want to work from home because I said, I know if I work from home, I'm going to start putting back on weight. But you've been through, okay. So you feel me, Butter Roll. Yeah, that divorce thing I was not ready for that. You don't expect it to be a cakewalk, but, and especially when you got children involved. At the time, my child was 2. So, it was a mess. But, I didn't overeat because I had no appetite. So, um, yeah, when I got ready to, because before I worked from home and I worked in the office, when I lived in Birmingham, we had to park. The UAV is so big and the parking is so limited. So the closest parking space I could get was 6 blocks from my job. And I had to still pay $45 a month for that daggone parking space. But anyway, I would park on because there's a school, the campus, and then there's the hospital. So I would park on campus where the school was, and then I would have to walk 6 blocks to get to where my job was. So that was, it was good exercise. It kept my exercise going. So when I stopped working and I stopped getting that walk every day, I did, like I said, I had bought the elliptical at that time. Joined the gym, got a personal trainer, did all of that. And I did good for a while, but Before it was over with, their weight started creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping, and this thing, it's back. It's not back as bad as it was, but I felt like, and that was something I would tell my friends all the time. How the hell everybody else who had weight loss surgery around the time I had it still look good? My ass and flunked weight loss surgery. How you flunk that? But it's just having this surgery is not a be all end all that you are going to forever stay that size. You have to put the work in, and if you know your vices or your tendencies, and like I said, I knew when I started working from home that there was going to be an issue. But at the same time, my daughter had turned 5, or working in the office. Working at UAB was a good job as far as benefits and the pay and everything. But the thing of it was, there was a lot of overtime required, and they didn't want to hear any excuses about, I can't do this. When they say mandatory, they mean mandatory. So when she was under 5, it was nothing for me to say. If I knew we had to work 7 days on or work the weekends, I would get when I got off work Thursday. I would take her to my parents, and it was like an hour and a half from where we were. Drop her off, come on back, and I would work through the week. And she was going to daycare, but but daycare is not like school. School, you got truancy. Daycare, like, shit, as long as you pay your money, whether she here or not, we all good. So there were times when she would only be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because Thursday through Monday, she would be staying with my mom and dad so that I could get my overtime in. So I knew, when she started regular school, that was not going to be an option for me. So that's when I started looking into working from home, because, like I said, I'm divorced and it was just me and her. And my family was down and half away, so it's not like I had anybody local. I had friends that were local, but you don't want to put that responsibility on anybody that, every time you got to work late or work over, they got to pick her up, drop her off. That's just, I'm not one for inconveniencing people, even though they would assure me it's no problem. We don't mind, but that's just not how I am. Now, my parents, on the other hand, I knew that they were in hog heaven because we were back, because they always wanted grandkids anyway. Um, my brother had his first child um, in 2002, but the thing is, they lived in Atlanta, so they didn't have access to her, like they wanted. And so then um, myself and my brother, we both had 92, and my niece Cassidy was born in 2010. But still, I'm in all the way in South Florida. They're all the way in Atlanta, and my folks are here in Alabama, so they're not getting that time in. So when they weren't, of course, they weren't happy about the divorce. But what they were happy about was to have me move back home. Not for me, mind you. They weren't studying me. They get a chance to have access to their granddaughter 24/7. Because, like I said, when I first moved back, I stayed with them for a full year, trying to get my money right, trying to, make sure I didn't have any debts in South Florida. I didn't want to commit to rent or anything before I had a chance to get some money saved up. So I moved back in 2012. I didn't get a place until 2013. And so, you know, they had access to her all the time, and they was happy, because they always wanted grandchildren. Now they got one, and she was 2 back then, and they so adorable with the little snagger tooth and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a good thing for them and for me, because I had the assistance I needed to be able to do what I needed to do. So, like I said, I knew once I started not doing when I wasn't going in the office, I felt like, because I know my tendencies and I know how I am, and like I said, bored eating, nothing else going on, you're gonna gain some weight. So I gained some weight, and so when everything happened with the CHF, my thought was, okay, I need to get this weight off me again. So what I was trying to see is if I could go back and, maybe have another weight loss procedure done, because one thing about congestive heart failure, you cannot put too much work on your heart. So they tell you to watch your exercise. And where before you're told to drink plenty of water, well, with this you cannot drink a lot of water. They only want you to take in maybe 64 ounces a day. So it was a whole new direction for me, because I'm used to hearing work out, walk, do this, do that, and drink plenty of water. And then they're over here telling me the complete opposite. So I felt like I was in like a catch-22 where I wanted to work hard to get the weight off, but then there was also a little bit of fear as to, well, how much is too much? So that's where I've been for the last few years. I do exercise and try to fit it in. Like I said, one of the things I do, because I have to take that diuretic to keep that edema down, when I go to the bathroom and come back. Like yesterday, I did over 100 squats, because every time I come back from the bathroom, I'll do 25 squats. And that brings me back to why I love why I love this stuff, because 25 squats on these big tree trunk legs, oh, that ain't no joke. And you doing 4, 5 of them because you keep running to the bathroom. But let me see. I don't know. Do I still have? I had a video showing how well I have been doing since you know being on this medication. As far as like, I wanted to actually let y'all see, girl. Okay, here we go. Check me out. Y'all see that? Y'all see me getting it in? I'm getting it in. I ain't exactly squatting down to the floor, but I'm getting it in. And if with me doing that 3, 4 times a day, you gonna feel it. So the what you call stuff, it came in handy. It came in very handy. So um yeah, that's been my talk about nothing today. My weight loss journey and weight gain journey and all of this stuff. I appreciate y'all sitting here listening to me talk about my fat ass, which I had to learn. When I was younger, I thought I was the fattest person in the world. And then how you go back and you look at your pictures and you like, ain't nothing wrong with you. And I did upload something that I wanted to share with you guys today, just to show you how, in my mind, this person was a beluga whale, and I had to realize that was not the case. So first, I'm going to show you guys. This is me. Okay, so that's my mom up there with me. You see how slim Queen Esther is? So that's my mom up there with me in the top left-hand corner. And that was me around 1, 2, baby phase, all that stuff. And then even when I got into school, I see you'll see my first grade, second grade, third grade pictures. And then I think on that last one on the bottom right, I probably was maybe fourth or fifth grade. But this is the person that I thought was huge. Okay? This was huge, Melissa. Or at that age, my family calls me Lisa. Back then, that's little Lisa, little fat Lisa, as I thought I was. Then we go on to, let's see, we go on to some of the bigger ages. So you see me over on the left side. I'm fifth, sixth grade. Me, and that's probably the last picture. That picture was me and my brother Reggie in the middle there. That's the last time I was taller than him, because he is 6'5". So that was us. There's my band picture. I was a drummer in the band. That other picture there was about 8th grade with the blue shirt on. And then Down at the bottom is senior prom. So, I was thick, but in my mind, I thought I was like precious big, compared to the other girls. But technically, I wasn't huge like I thought I was. And then all those pictures over there on the right are from my wedding day. I got married in 2009 on my birthday. And there's me and my mom, me and my dad, and me and the ex-husband. So I just wanted to share those with y'all. Even though y'all hear me talk about how fat I was and everything, in reality, when I go back and look at these pictures, I wasn't that big. But we all have our own um, views of ourselves. And the crazy thing is, even when, and I'll have to find some pictures of when I don't have a lot of pictures when I initially lost a lot of weight. I got a few somewhere, but that was back before, I ain't had no camera phone back then. I had a prepaid, and you weren't taking pictures with that little fuzzy phone. So I don't have a lot of them from like 2005, 2006, 2007 when I was like, in my bye boom. But even when I had lost the weight, because mentally I've always been that fat girl, I still felt like I was big. And people was like, but you look good. And then I had to teach myself how to be able to take a compliment. Because I'm like, no, I don't. Quit telling me that. Don't tell me that. I can look at the picture. I got a mirror. So that's something that I've had to learn. You have to learn to love yourself. Because if you don't believe it, and this is 100% on the money, if you don't believe it, it don't matter what nobody else say. So now, when I look at this face and I see these dimples and I see this gorgeous wig I done paid for, I'm happy with what I see looking back at me. It took me a long time to get to that place. And, we all have our days, but hey, one day at a time, 1 pound at a time, one story at a time, one memory at a time, whatever you got to do to get it through. That's what you do. So y'all, thanks for coming in and listening. Thank you for sharing me out, in Bernadette. Thank you, Butter Roll Boutique, for coming through and spending time with me today. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your interaction in the chat. It's always nice to know you're not just sitting here talking to yourself, but I will do that. And anybody else who was listening that maybe didn't have a chance, Purple too. Thank you for coming through and listening. And anybody who maybe was listening but didn't get a chance to hit the chat, I appreciate it. Y'all please like, subscribe, share. Join me for some of my usually my other money conversations are titled Let's Talk Finance, when we're talking money and home-based businesses. Like I said, we will be on Boss Life Online at 6 o'clock today. Giving testimonies about these CTFO products and the results we've been getting with those. And, like I said, I always keep it real. I'm not going to lie to you about them. So if it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. But I've enjoyed y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Butter Roll. You have a great day, too.